Hey everybody, I'm just Q, and I'm back with some more Reverse 1999. So we are here for another guide. We're going to be doing a guide for Bio of the Great Thief. Some people were having problems with some of the puzzles, so I figured, hey, let's go ahead and jump in here and knock out doing these puzzles. So let's go ahead and jump on over to Bio of the Great Thief. I want to thank everyone who did check out the guide for Thief of Thieves, and if you haven't had a chance to check that out, if you do need help, playlist should be popping up in the top right hand corner right about now. So please go and check out those videos. Please like the videos because it does help me a lot, and when you're here, of course, I'd like you to stay happy, and I hope you enjoy this video. So we're gonna do most of these all together. I will have a jump cut between a few of them just to ensure that you guys can just go straight to where you need to go. But the first 6 puzzles, I want to say about roughly, are generally easy. So if you want to go to 7, 8, 9, and 10, you will probably see timestamps for them down in the description down below. So just look out for that, because I think just 7, 8, 9, and 10 are the ones that people usually kind of start to struggle with. But the first 6 should be fairly good. So we're going to just jump into this. It's all pretty much decent elements. And there might be an easier one later on for like a new mechanic starting later on in 7, 8, 9, and 10. I might be wrong, but we'll see. We'll deal with that later. So let's go ahead and start number 1. It's pretty easy. Just teaching you about the mechanics. So I'm going to pull this up here so everyone can see and follow along. So you're just going to move the glass case onto the sensor that it's standing on right there, and then you're going to escape through the door. So we do that by moving our character, these buttons, move to the left, move up, and then simply go through the door. So that's exactly why, again, we weren't going to be having jump cuts for the first roughly about 6 puzzles. So let's go ahead and step number 2, basic elements. And it's pretty much teaching us about the guards. So guard's going to be switching his vision, and you just watch the pattern, because it's going to be more complicated than this later on in terms of like which direction they're going, how many squares they're looking at. So just take your time. It's pretty simple. But I do want to note something right here while we're doing this simple puzzle. You can take this case and move it while they're looking at that spot. So you don't have to worry about them, necessarily for, seeing the case and like, oh my God, my alertness went up. So just keep that in mind. Move that over, go through the door. There we go. That is number 2. So number 3, first trial. Okay, so this one, same thing. Make sure you pay attention to your guards. So guards are looking behind themselves, so back and forth, back and forth. But we have 2 cases that we need to move on to 2 sensors, and we need to move one of the cases first because obviously this one can't move, down or, back. We can't get behind it or on the side, so there's a whole thing. We moving this one first. So just go behind this case. And since they're looking behind them, I can move this one all the way over, no problem. And then for this one, we need to move it down so we can get it onto that next sensor. Again, he doesn't care if he sees that case. So there we go. Then just move behind that case, pop it onto the sensor, make your way around the room. And then we're going to push this next case onto that sensor and then go through the door. That is it. So that is it. So now we're good. Moving on to thinking training number 4. So for this one, it's kind of like a roundabout start to the solve. This case is against the wall. We do need to get it away from the wall so we can get it over here to this sensor. We need to push it this way, because if we push it to the corner, we can't get behind it and push it. So we need to get ourselves into position. So watch out for the cards, watch their patterns. Got a free space right here. I mean, I've already done these, so excuse me. So just pretty much waiting for my moment of opportunity. Move down and behind this case. We're going to push it right there so we can have free space. And once they're looking away, go behind the case. And then this guy doesn't care if he looks at the case, so we're not worried about it. There we go. We're just gonna push it right there. Go back into our safe spot so we can push this case 2 blocks up. So I'm just gonna wait for them. They're blocking my space. I don't want them to see me. So there we go. Move back around. And then just monitor your safe spots. move that down, and we're gonna have to wait a rotation because we need to move that case flush to the wall. Move that over. There we go. And then back around onto the sensor. No one looks over here, and we're good to go. So that's that one. So just make sure you're watching out for cases that are against the wall, because if you push them against the wall, particularly in certain locations, you might not be able to get them away. So there we go. I mean, as that one started on the wall, but there was space on the back side, you were fine. Okay, so number 5, basic elements 3. So now we're starting with the basic element of the light, and I do want to come up here just in case someone's watching this and they're going through it and for the first time along with me. So for the light, spotlight will light the area in front of it. Please be careful. Alertness will be increased to 100 if detected by the light. Make use of the glass case to hide from the spotlight. So make sure you don't get seen by that. That is definitely a 100%er. I believe you will be, somewhat fine if you just are seen in general, but hey, not by the spotlight. So now we need to be able to get this case over here. So we need to push that case over. That's pretty much simple. Just push it flush with that light. Now it can't do anything. And as you can see, I made a mistake of pushing it against the wall. Oh my goodness. Like, what will I do? I can't move it over. So, I mean, I'm happy I made that mistake. Now you can see that I have to reset. So, but I've already solved these. So no big deal. YouTubers make mistakes too. So just going too fast. Let me slow down. You just go behind the case and push it over. So sorry about that. I was moving a little bit too fast. But yeah, so that's it for that solve. You push the light, push that case flush to light, and push the other one on the sensor. Just teaching you how to deal with the lights. So we're just gonna be using the cases. So now we're gonna go ahead and jump into field practice number 6. So now we're practicing with our lights. And I'm gonna make sure I go slower on this one. I don't want to confuse anyone. There's too many cases and too many lights to be dealing with for me to make that mistake again. So sorry. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lights, and we also have a sensor. So we have 4 lights, 1 sensor. That's 5 objects. So 1 object definitely needs one of my cases, and I have 4 lights left, which means 3 cases left. One of these, has to, 2 of these lights have to share a glass case. So first of all, we need to get across the room. So we need to move this glass case onto the sensor because that's where it's going to go. Now we're going to push this one down, flush with that light. So now we don't have to worry about that one. And then this one up here, it also does not share a block with any other light. So no intersection, but these two have an intersection of light here. So they're going to share a case. So what we're going to do with that is move over, push that there, and then push this one, flush up, give us a nice walking room to the door. And that is it. So we have successfully solved 6 puzzles in a little bit less than like 7 minutes or so, depending on, intro timing and video editing. But now we're going to move on to the advanced puzzles. So now we're going to move on to number 7. And I am going to start it straight on that screen so I can explain everything to everyone. So you will see a jump cut right here. Hey everybody, and we are now going to solve puzzle number 7. So the reason why I needed everyone, needed to insert a jump cut is because number 1, I need to make sure I remember the solution. As everyone saw the checks on everything that I have, they've been solved, but moving from puzzle to puzzle, sometimes, you just forget stuff. So now we need to check this out. We have 2 guards. We have this guard in the top left. He is moving clockwise 90 degrees around himself. So this top block, this block where this case is, then this bottom block, and then this left block right here. And then this guard is moving counterclockwise. So this case, as you saw, this one right here, then this block right here, he's gonna go to next, and then this top block right there. So that's the deal with the guards. For the lights, obviously we have 1, 2, 3 lights. So all of the lights will have their own case, and then the sensor will have its own case. So all cases will be used. No one will be sharing a case in terms of like permanently at the end. But at some point in time, we will have, excuse me, 2 of the lights share a case. But we will explain that as we move on. But first, we need to be able to get across the room. This light is just shining all the way down. So let's move down here. Simply move this case down. We're going to come back around because this is where we need to be. So there we go. Now we can move around the room and start to solve this puzzle. Now, if you can't see this, this is one of the things I'm probably going to critique. This D-pad here is actually in the way. You can't tell that you can tell because, you know, obviously I solved it, but some people miss that there's a, you know, line here. So they think, okay, we just need to move this down. Then they figure out that, you know, hey, that's obviously not the solution. But there's a space right here that you can move down to, and you're right beside the light. So that's just something that I've noticed that some people miss, but it's not necessarily their fault. But we need to get down here to be able to access the rest of these cases. But how do we do that with this light still shining? Well, first we need to make ourselves some space, move this case down, and then bam. Now they're not necessarily sharing that case. That is now this light's case, and all we have to do is move over and move it flush with this light. Now we have an opportunity to access these cases. So first, what we need to do is get this case out of the way of this one, move it around, down in front of this light. We can definitely do that, but let's go ahead and first get around the guard. So let's watch his rotation, move down to a safe block, move over. I'm gonna wait because he's gonna move here next. And there we go. We just need to get this case out the way first. So now we're gonna move that down. So as you can see, got that case. Now, out of the way. So now, as you can see, I want to point this out first before I make any new steps. We can go and actually, let's see, move this case down if we want to. So we can move this down, they can share, and then we're going to do that. So now they're sharing cases just for the time being, and then we can move this down here, get behind the case, and bam. Now that case, that light has its own case. Now we need to just move back down. Ooh, making slight mistakes here. Sorry about that. Did not mean to move that case. But get behind this case and then move it down. Thank goodness there's no wall here. So just go ahead and get behind the case. We're going to move it all the way down. Right there in front of the sensor. And then we're going to wait for this guard to move. Come on. There you go. Push that onto that sensor and then click our way to victory. So that is it for puzzle number 7. I will be meeting everyone at the next puzzle number 8. So we're going to go ahead and do basic elements 4 and number 9 at the same time. So let's go ahead and hop into number 8. It's basically introducing you to the ventilation system. So again, just in case someone is doing this for the first time with me, thank you, by the way. Let's read about this. So proceed here to the vent with your smoke potion to avoid being exposed in front of the securities and the spotlight. Remember, the mist only lasts 10 seconds. So essentially all we're doing here on this teaching is how to use it. Move the case, have the door open. Once you step on that vent, bam, pop your little smoke, and you're fine. You're good to go. Just teaching you that you won't be detected when you use your smoke potion on the ventilation system. So there we go. Now we're going to hop right into number 9, mind opener. So now we need to get these 3 cases on the right all the way to the left. Now there's a specific way that you need to start your cases. So let's go ahead and do that. So we're going to be using our vent. Obviously the 10 seconds starts after you step off of the ventilation system. If you stand on it, it'll just be there forever. Once you step off, then your 10 seconds for your smoke starts. So we're going to go and grab our case here, then this case here, and then this case last. So let's go ahead and grab our first case. Take your time because the 10 seconds is actually a lot longer than we think. So let's do that. Move this down. And then right here, bam, step back onto our ventilation system. We're gonna actually come around for this first case. We're gonna come all the way around it, and be careful not to push it twice. You're gonna push it once, then come back around. Because as you can see, either we push that down, we didn't have enough time to get back through there. So that's why you didn't want to push that here. Even though that's where this case goes, you don't want to push it there yet. You needed that space to come back. So now we need to grab our second case, and we're going to push it all the way flush to this next spot. So we need to first go and grab it. Now there's two ways you can do this, because I know some people think that the 10 seconds seems a bit short. And don't get me wrong, it's not exactly the longest, but hey, you can actually grab this case and push it through if you want to. If you just simply take your time, don't misclick or go in the wrong direction, I think you should be fine. So hop on your vent, go around it, take your time, go behind it, push it over, go back, get behind it. And then as soon as you step back onto your vent, bam, your 10 seconds restarts as soon as you step back off of this ventilation system. But all you need to do here is push this flush, come back, push it down, and then hurry back to the vent, and then you're good to go. Now, if you feel that you need more time, just go ahead and stand right here, let it reset if that makes you feel good. Because I know I did that the first time, but as I've been practicing again to do this guide, then I've noticed that long as I step back on that vent, the 10 seconds restarts and restarts and restarts. So, so start, bam, start, bam, kind of like that. So essentially I can step back on it, come back here, go around this case, take my time, press the buttons. And then once I step back on it, it restarts again. And then once I step back off, my 10 seconds is refreshed. So come back, push that down, come back down, bam. I have another 10 seconds just in case I need it, and then come back down, push this final case there, and then get out the door. And we have successfully completed puzzle number 9. I will see everyone at the next one, puzzle number 10. So let's go ahead and solve puzzle number 10, Escape Master. This is the very last one. So let's go ahead and take our time and go through this puzzle. So as you can see, we are somewhat barricaded by 3 cases here at the top. We also have 2 lights. We also have 2 guards, and they are moving in opposite directions. So the top guard is moving clockwise in 90-degree angles around him, so 4 blocks around him. Bottom guard is moving counterclockwise around himself, 90-degree angles. So as you can see, eventually sometimes they kind of point the same direction, so it keeps you kind of honest on like where they're looking and where they're going to look next. So just kind of watch that. When they're not facing the same direction, they're facing the opposite direction. So there you go. So first step here is essentially obviously get away from being barricaded. We're going to take this bottom case here and we're going to push it out so this light can't see us. And then we're going to take this top case, we're going to push it all the way over by that top guard. So now that we've done that, we now have this space open here where we can take this case and push it flush with this light. That is that light's case. It's gonna stay there. Obviously it can't move anywhere, so that is it. So now you have successfully set yourself up to get behind the guards and over by the sensors. So just watch their rotations, make sure you don't go in the, get yourself detected. So so now all we need to do is get this case over here. So what we're going to do is once we push it over here, it's actually going to go to this space right here where my cursor is, and then we're going to push it flush to the wall. So the reason why we're going to do that is because we actually need to push that case to this spot. This case is actually going to come down and around to this spot. So because our last spot that we're going to put a case on is actually where we're standing. The middle spot is the last spot. So spot number 1 is actually going to be here that we feel. Spot number 2 will be this top spot here, and then spot number 3, middle spot. So just follow along and make sure you are, placing the cases where they need to go. So another thing I want to point out here before we go ahead and essentially just kind of solve the puzzle is you don't have to wait for the guards to be looking away. I'm actually going to wait for this guard to actually look at this spot, and we're going to pull this case in. So right there, see, bam, we have our 10 seconds. Get behind this case, push it over, come back, down, push it 2 spots. Be careful, do not push it 3. and then come down and push it flush to the wall, just like that. Leave it there, don't touch it right now. After we pull in our next case, then we'll push that in. But first, because as you can see, we won't be able to get like around if we push that down and such like that. So we're actually just going to prepare our second case so we don't have to go as far. So I just like to do that so that way it's like, you know, no extra time. So just go down. We're actually going to come here, push that there, and then just come back around where our smoke is, reset our timer, step back on it again, and then bam. I'm going to go down, push that to the wall, push this over, bam, straight in that spot. Be careful, do not push it too far because obviously it'll be against the wall and you won't be able to get it out. You'll have to reset. So now we can actually go and pop this straight in there. So come here now, go into your middle spot, and then whenever you want to, just do the same exact puzzle that we did last time. Step on the spot, get around this very last case, push it down, come back behind it, pop it straight into that slot, and then the door is open and we are good to go. We are master thieves. So that is the very last puzzle. I do want to thank everyone for watching this video and, you know, just taking the time to go through everything. I know it's a little bit of you know, just kerfluffle, as they say sometimes. Maybe that's just me, but anywho, I know it's a little bit weird, but hey, we went through all the puzzles, we got everything solved, and now you should be able to come over to your rewards and claim everything. I left mine like this so you can see that I actually did it. I did not, you know, actually say I solved it and I didn't solve it. So hey, everything's been solved. We are good to go. And so far, like I said, they're doing very good on the event. So if you haven't gotten a chance to watch the Thief of Thieves, go and watch that as well. But thank you all for watching the video. And remember, when you're here, I want you to all stay happy. Always. I will see you all in the next video. Peace.